Welcome to another edition of Strange New Pod. I'm your fleet captain and host, Julian Brown. And as far as I know, no one has swapped bodies on the podcast. As far as I know.
Me and Hawk have. Yeah.
Yes.
Me and Hawk.
I just don't think it would work. Maybe it would. I don't know.
I blame the Hamilton water.
I blame water everywhere right now. I blame the gas prices. I'm joined, as always, by the best bridge crew this side of a Vulcan Caliphate ritual, Vice Admiral Eric, whose LRPA skills are unrivaled, and Lieutenant Commander Hawk is here, and he's ready to scorch the hull. Welcome back and welcome aboard. If you're wondering where Captain Girafe is, well, she is representing us a little bit later on in like a little under half an hour over on Star Trek Discovery Pod. I know a few of you, if you're watching here right now, will probably head over there at the top of the hour. So
she takes a
go
night
enjoy
off from podcasting.
Takes a night
to
off.
go podcast.
And I'm looking at you, Mariah, because I know you're listening. I know you roped her into this. So well done. Way to keep getting in that podcast addiction that Girafe is getting. So go check her out there. But we do have a very special guest joining us tonight, beaming in, even though she lives in the same house as me. No introduction needed, but I'll do it anyway. It is the mother of tribbles, my wife, Captain Karyn Brown. Welcome back. It's been a very long time.
It has been a while.
Woo!
Yeah.
Glad to be back. Nice to see you boys.
Do you remember the last time you were on the pod? Was it Lower Decks? Discovery? Not Discovery. It's been a long time. It's been a long road.
Was it Prodigy?
Getting from there to here.
Maybe Prodigy.
Maybe
Prodigy. I don't know.
I don't remember.
I don't remember
Anyway.
yesterday.
It's been a long time. I just watched that Archer episode where he can't remember Twilight. It's a really good episode of Enterprise. He can't remember like.
I wish I couldn't
events of
remember
the-
Twilight.
You should clip that. It's a really good episode of Enterprise. We'll never use that sound clip.
I will clip that. I will. You know, Karyn, I don't remember if we did this when you were on the show the last time, so I'm gonna do it now. I'm gonna put you on the spot. Your favorite Trek, your favorite episode, and your favorite character.
Cool.
Yeah. Welcome. That's what you get.
Okay. Favorite Trek Voyager.
Duh.
Favorite character Janeway.
Duh.
I can't. Yeah, I mean I can't not. Favorite episode. Oh. God, what is that one called? The one with the like black and white movie from Voyager.
Bride of Chaotica.
Bride of Chaotica.
We did a table read of that.
I love Bride of Chaotica. It's
We
so
did.
good. I love those like weird ass like alternate. Yeah,
It was really good.
Those
It was really good.
those are my favorite kinds of Trek.
You actually killed that. That was very quick and very
Thank
easy.
you.
So well done. This week it is Freaky Friday. I mean, it's our case of Freaky Friday. Star Trek's case of Freaky Friday. You get the point. What happens when Spock and T'Pring swap bodies after a soul-sharing ritual goes wrong? Our number one and La'an able to complete the very popular Enterprise bingo list. And I just want to say, we have our own bingo list. And this week we got to B, I, N, and G. It's debatable whether we got full bingo, but we got 4. So, hold on. We have kid issues. So 1 second. Kid and puppy issues. 1 second.
Oh.
Puppy is being a giant pain.
Did you see that? What's his name on Twitter? Released the actual graphic for the Enterprise bingo.
Oh, did he release the graphic? I just took a screenshot. That's awesome. While Karyn is away, I will say Enterprise bingo. I know we're going to talk about it later. Is quickly like becoming my favorite thing about Strange New Worlds. I like that it's like a little bit of an Easter egg in every episode. So I really dig it. I'm trying to stall while Karyn blocks off Cecily's door so the puppy can't get into her room. She's back. Okay.
Right. Miles O'Brien has been corralled.
Miles O'Brien, always getting into trouble. It's true. Just like the real one. We're going to break that episode all down, including that awesome bingo list. I'm actually just going to do that over because it was very distracting over. So bear with me because this goes in podcast form later on. This week, it's Freaky Friday. I mean, our case of Freaky Friday, but you get the point. What happens when Spock and T'Pring swap bodies after a soul-sharing ritual goes wrong? Our number one and La'an able to complete the Enterprise bingo list, the very popular Enterprise bingo list. And should Chapel and Ortegas be giving relationship advice to Vulcans? I don't think so. We're going to break it all down. But first, we have a table read coming up. It was announced, I think we talked about it last week. We've been trying to do this episode, I think, for months and months and months now, and it's finally happening. We're going to be doing Magic to Make the Sanest Man Go Mad. This will be a timed exclusive for our patrons. We'll be releasing it about a month or so later for everybody else. And like before, we need to cast our favorite Discovery characters. So this is who everybody's going to be playing, and I am giving my wonderful wife the duty of casting everybody, so there's no impartial choicing. So to remind you, remember that this is the us, and this is the characters, and you'll need to put those back because we'll have to double dip.
There are 2 hats.
There are 2 hats.
Okay. The role of...
While Karen's doing that, Galaxy Star Queen says, how's the puppy, Julian? The puppy's being a pain in the ass, but, puppy life.
He's disappeared.
Yeah,
Where he
well.
went.
I should get that tattooed across my stomach.
The role of Tilly will be played by...
And why we did grab the bingo list, and it's
Girafe.
Tilly and Joe. I like
Somebody
it.
writing these down? You might want to write them
I'm
down.
writing it in the document.
Okay.
Thank
Tilly
you.
will be played by Girafe. I'm putting Girafe back into the list. Okay, next role. The role of Ash Tyler.
No one wants this role.
will
Bag
be
of bricks.
played by... No, I can't pick that one again. Will be
Yes, you
played
can.
by...
Shouse.
Shouse.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Shouse. Oh, my God.
I
The
can't wait till he
role
hears.
of
Oh, he's going to be so mad.
Burnham.
Oh, Michael. I
boy.
wish I had a drum roll
will
sound
be
effect. I don't
played
anymore.
by Hawk.
Hawk is Michael. Okay. All right.
Okay.
I love
The
it.
role of Stamets
I hope you kiss shows.
will be. I didn't put Hawk back. Hold on. I'm gonna put Hawk
Get off
back.
my bridge.
There was
The
farting,
role of
fighting for the part of mud.
Stamets
And
will
why.
also be played by Girafe, and she is now out of the running. Let's see.
Oh, I like what you did there. Okay, I see what you did. I
The
like
role
it.
of Culber, love of Stamets' life, will be played by
He has like 3 lines in this episode.
Julian.
Oh, well, I'm not going to have much to do.
You just have to take off your shirt.
Yeah, I'll just take it. No one wants that.
Stamets
The role
does.
of Saru will be played
Also has like 3 lines.
by Eric.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'll waft those farts the whole time.
The role of... Oh, you crumpled this one good.
Sorry.
The role of Mud, of Harry Mudd, will be played by... Me. You!
Congrats. Holy shit.
And the role
Harcourt
of
Fenton
Lorca
Mudd.
will be played by... Eric.
Ooh, I get to kill you a lot.
All right.
That's it, right?
That's all the roles.
There's the extras meta computer.
And I do have, that is our patron who is getting to play those roles in this table read this time around, and that is going to be played by none other than patron collective member and one of our wonderful mods, Haven. Congrats, Haven!
Hey, Haven.
So
Thanks,
you
bud.
are going to do our table read with us. You will be the Tanoi, who is an officer, and the extras, the medic, and the voice of the computer. So congrats, Haven. That'll be really fun. I'm really stoked. So, that's going to be a fun table read. Oh, man. I love it. Speaking of our amazing patron collective members, Mr. Eric, sir, we need to thank those at the Ready Room level and above.
No, just joking.
Fine.
Thanks to Simon Stager, Jeff Reeve, Mariah Gossett, Jen Stein, Tina Alexander, Joe Saporito, Noe Santo, Kung Hui, Haven, Takako Nagumo, Kara Kennedy, Mark, Fernanda Nogales, SMK, Ian Davies, Laura Linderman, Coolian Night Spray, Colin Davidson, Susie, Jesse Desmond, Alan Davis, Shatterhand 2049, Jesco, MC Frodis, Maggie, Michael Graham, Alex Miller, Emily and Travis, Marianne Roth, Cassie Raul. I'm going to go with Raul. Summer Ritchie, and our 2 newest collective members, Riker Tattoo and Maggie Light. That tattoo must have seen lots of things.
I saw the Riker tattoo up close. Riker tattoo, I won't say names because he probably wanted to be anonymous, but is one of our fans that we met in Chicago. So, 1 second. Sorry. Keep talking.
Puppy issues again?
Very desperately wants to get into the child's room and
Sleep with the child? Aw.
yeah, but he's not sleeping, and that's the problem. Is he's keeping her awake, which is no good. Go sleep. Good night.
Thank you, Galaxy Star Queen.
Oh, this show. Dogs, puppies, man, just are never again. Never again. So yes, for our Patriot Collective members, we are going to be doing this in a few weeks. We'll give you the exact date when we're doing the table read. It's going to be a really good time. We also have the glorious and beautiful Pride pins and stickers that Eric designed coming your way in a couple of weeks. So be on the lookout for those. And we keep getting new patrons like every week. So thank you to everyone for your support. It's amazing, and I can't even I don't know. It's awesome. I love it. Yeah. Let's get into our review. Episode 5. We're 5 weeks in already to Strange New Worlds, and that is
the halfway mark. It's unreal.
It's breaking my heart a little bit. I'm like, oh man, 5 more episodes. I mean, I know
thought it was
season 2 is
13
filming.
for some reason.
Yeah, I did too.
Well, they
It's only
listed
10.
as 13 on IMDb, but that's
Damn
just
you,
like
IMDb.
3 episodes into season 2.
Rude.
Oh, it's so messed up. But it is episode 5. It is called Spock Amok, which these episode titles are great. We'll go in the order tonight of Karyn, Eric, Hawk, and then myself. Let's talk about Spock and T'Pring first. Spock's dream sequence. We've known Spock's kind of constant struggle between his human side and his Vulcan side. This is nothing new. We get it throughout TOS, the movies, shit, even like TNG during Unification. We know this about him. He's always had that struggle. He has to constantly prove himself, especially as like a young boy on Vulcan. We see different versions of this in Discovery Season 2. We see it in the JJ movies. He does not have a good time growing up. This manifests in a very reminiscent dream sequence to the TOS episode Amok Time, which is what this episode is named after. Very clever. Before I ask you guys, I just have to tell you this right now. The first thing I did after I watched this episode was message Nami and be like, so how much fun did you have recreating that score from Amok Time? And she was like, so much fun, so much time. It was so awesome. But I want to get your guys' opinions. What did we think about this throwback to that awesome episode and the dream sequence? Karyn, we'll start with you.
I thought it was a lot of fun. It was kind of an intense sequence at the beginning.
It was.
I totally dug the fight. I thought, that Ethan really got in there and gave his all in it. It was fun to see, like Joaquin mentioned, when his ears turn human in the dream, he's got his human haircut too.
Oh yeah,
I love that, and the eyebrows, and I was like, oh, it's like his real hair.
Both terrible. Both terrible.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Both terrible.
Yeah, I agree.
Not even a question.
I agree, but it was really fun. And I totally dug it. And I loved the Spock and T'Pring switch. I loved, them like when Pike comes in to talk to them and Spock is like,
We're gonna talk about that later. We're only talking about the dream sequence.
Damn.
you put
She's
Spock
there.
and T'Pring
She's
on the
there.
thing. I'm there.
I'm giving her the tap on the leg.
All right, that's my thoughts.
I like it. Eric, your thought on the dream sequence?
It was great to see the Coliseum or the arena recreated in HD. The production team is phenomenal on this show, and oh man, just seeing everyone dressed up in updated versions of those classic costumes is phenomenal. The idea of Spock fighting himself is a great metaphor for his internal struggles. Like, who doesn't think about that in their dreams? And like,
I don't think I've ever dreamed about fighting myself before.
Yeah,
I'm just putting that out.
It's fun sometimes. And like,
Tell us more, Eric. Tell
Well,
us more.
well, like what Neil Gaiman says, like, dreams are real, but they're made of viewpoints of images and memories and puns and of lost hope. So like, if that's a perfect example of what Spock was going through. Like, I think it's a great way to start off an episode where he really struggles with this. Like, he struggles with it throughout all of Star Trek.
Trek.
I was gonna say the series,
Constantly.
but all of it. But it's nice that we see how it's played out in his mind. Like I love that. It's great.
Yeah. Hawk?
So this was a fantastic sequence for all the reasons you guys listed above, but also for the way they approached it, and that the camera angles and the fighting, they totally mimicked like old TOS and that, but at the same time they gave it a lot more oomph in that. Like when you see those Lurpas hitting like people, you really feel like how heavy and dangerous those weapons are. Yeah, I remember Girafe was going on. Those things are extremely dangerous weapons, and she's right in that. That blunt end can break bones on its own. I loved Ethan Peck in this for the fact that as he's playing like human Spock, versus like Vulcan Spock, and that his human side seemed a lot more human. The rigidity is gone. There's a lot more panic in him. In a way, he was like mirroring like Kirk in that fight sequence in the original. The whole thing was great, and Nami blew it out of the park.
Sorry,
I hear that.
No worries.
Nami really blew it out of the water with a score on that.
It felt so like so much like the TOS score, but like an updated version, and there was like more energy. I don't know how you can make that sequence more energetic, but it felt like that, right? It was amazing. She did a phenomenal job.
That was so good. And the fact that they that was one of the clips we saw, like in the previews like months ago, and they to find out it was just a dream sequence. I love this show. The way he can just mislead you.
I forgot to mention, I love T'Pring in this scene because she played off her, the struggle that she obviously has with his human side. So seeing that manifested in that dream was good. I love that actress. I can't remember her name.
Gia Sato, who plays T'Pring.
Yeah,
right?
she's phenomenal.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Canadian actress.
Canadian actress. Yeah, she's absolutely fantastic. I can't get enough of her. They did a great job. Like I know we only get T'Pring in Amok time, but she's just so close and the perfect actress they could have chosen. I love that.
Yeah.
Man, I could just talk about the music for this part because it's literally right out of Amok time and it's filmed like it, and the way they make Vulcan look like Vulcan right out of that episode is just so perfectly done. Like they couldn't have done it better. And you gotta remember, like that's probably all based on the AR wall a little bit, right? Probably a mix of CG and the AR wall. It's so cool. The gong, every time they hit the gong, it reminded me of Search for Spock when Spock is getting his Katra put back on, and they're like, Kalina, and I love it. T'Pring is perfect. Bernadette Croft knocked it out of the park, making that costume updated yet look almost exactly like the one in Amok time. It is just, again, I think Hawk said it's like the perfect way to open it, or Eric said the perfect way to open up an episode. So cool, and we don't even get the cold open then. Like that cold open doesn't come for like 15 minutes into the show, which I find pretty incredible. So, any other thoughts on the dream sequence before we move on?
Walking Slowly says, I always think a little of the Cable Guy when I hear the music because they duplicate the scene so well in that movie.
Medieval times, man. Medieval times.
Oh, everybody do it. Oh, man. Walking Slowly also, it's all his relationship anxiety is a hilarious action sequence dream moment. Yeah, totally. Love it. So this episode, the A-plot is all Spock T'Pring, right? So we get them trying to figure out their engagement. We know how this ends. It doesn't end well. It's a fight to the death. And Spock later thinks he kills Kirk. Also, T'Pring could go marry another dude. So we know this is a failed relationship, but getting to see its beginnings and how it may get to that point in Amok time where T'Pring basically falls for a different Vulcan. They swap Katras accidentally, and not in the fun, Bones goes a little nuts and Search for Spock way. I mean, it is fun, but it's very different. It, like I just mentioned, this is a trope that's used in Star Trek all the time. But back here in this episode, how did Ethan Peck and Gia Sandu do swapping these roles and kind of playing each other off of each other, Karyn?
I thought they did a good job. I loved seeing the little mannerisms and the different ways that that their kind of vocal cadence switched up. Just the little moment, like I said before, when Pike comes in and, Spock's at attention and Spock's in T'Pring's body, but standing at attention with his hands behind his back and then you see, Spock doing this, which is, I loved it. I thought they did good, and I love that little moment. Speaking of gongs, when when they're trying everything, and he's like, "I have another idea, but we're gonna need a gong."
Yeah. Like I might have one, and then Pike comes in. Yeah, that's really funny. Yeah. Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Yeah. No, well, nothing really to add to that. They were phenomenal. You can see how like good of actors they are just by that. Like they're only 5 episodes in, and they have each other's mannerisms down pat. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Hot.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah, it's all about the mannerisms, because even like Pike entering and that comment about how you may have noticed that we're acting very differently, and then he's like,
Yeah,
sure, yeah. How do you tell a Vulcan apart from another one? But I love the fact that a couple that were having trouble seeing things from each other's sides and perspectives in the relationship, and that actually got to have a taste of each other's lives and that from their perspective.
Yeah.
Which I think was kind of the sub point of it, and that the whole episode was about like connections, right?
Yeah.
And anyways, they played it off fantastically. The comedic timing was great too. I can't say enough about that in this episode with everybody in that.
Yeah. They did a really good job. I really liked, let's see if anything is going on. Butch writes, agree, they both did especially excellent jobs at the mannerisms of the other, which is always fun to observe. Yeah, totally. They did a good job. And I talked about it on the Ready Room with Ethan and Jihad, how apparently, I guess they weren't supposed to do this, but they did it anyway. They spent a lot of time before the show even started filming, hanging out with each other. And so like they were able to really get their mannerisms down packed, and I love that. I think that I don't know. I think that Spock maybe did a tiny bit better. I don't know. I think they both evenly did like such a good job. Like I want to say one did better than the other, but like I don't think they did. When Spock or T'Pring as Spock, when Spock is in T'Pring's body, this is so confusing when you're talking body swaps. Yes. When Spock is in T'Pring's body and he has to tell Chapel, and Chapel just cracks up, but then brings Chapel to go punch the dude in the face, like to tell him like, you got to come back to Vulcan or else. And he's like, I was gonna come, but then he brought a human and just like, knocks him out. and I love later on when they get fixed, when Spock is like, just if we're being completely honest with each other, I may have punched him in the face, and she's like, yeah, I've met him. That's logical. That was the right.
That
choice.
Tracks.
Yeah. I really like, one of my favorite moments of this is when Spock or when T'Pring is in Spock's body. I'm gonna screw this up all night, and she's doing the negotiations for him, and she starts talking about like her actual feelings, not Spock's feelings. That scene is really good, and her interactions or his interactions with Chris when Pike comes in and is like, Spock has made, like kind of speaking to her, as Pike to T'Pring, like, I know how much of a sacrifice he's making, but he's doing really important work, and you should actually be really proud of him. I thought that was a great moment as well. Oh man, I loved everything about it. I forget who mentioned it already. It might have been Karyn, when they were like, yes, and now you could tell us apart by our very obvious different mannerisms. Pike's just okay. I love Pike so much, right? Because like maybe a Kirk would panic or maybe a Picard would panic, but Pike's just like, all right, you still got to come do the negotiations, man. I don't know.
His response, get out of town. He's like,
yeah,
we are not in a town.
We are not in a town. Yeah. It's just so good. I loved everything about this moment. Let's see. Anything? Listen to this episode gave me my daily dose of Ortegas. I'm so happy. Galaxy Star Queen said, yeah, we're going to talk about them right now. But does anybody else have anything on Spock and T'Pring before we move on? No. Relationship advice. This episode is all about relationship advice with Chapel and Ortegas. Yeah, we know that in TOS, Chapel has a huge crush and feelings for Spock, even though she's married in TOS, but has these feelings for him. We start to see the development of this. She doesn't really do well dating. Didn't go well for her. Yet gives Spock some. I actually don't think that the relationship advice that she gave Spock was too bad. But what did we think about her arc this week with that relationship kind of starting to form, and Ortegas being her wingman, Karyn?
I liked getting a little more glimpse into Chapel and her personal life, because you kind of you get to see her working, but you don't get to see so much of the personal, and I liked a lot of that about this the episode. Bleep. No, I liked a lot of that about this. I love that we get to see Chapel is canon bi. There's a brief mention of a relationship with a woman, and I liked the interplay between the two characters. They're both very kind of like wisecracking characters, and both kind of have a little like quirky fun to them. So I appreciate that the two of them kind of jive together and can be friends. And
I thought they had awesome chemistry together. Like you could almost like ship them a little bit. Right?
I was shipping them
A little bit.
100%.
I can get on board with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Eric.
Oh yeah, I love them. I love that Chapel has more dimension than we've ever seen her. The fact that this quirky nurse has this like deep, how do I explain this? Oh my god, I lost my notes earlier. And but she's more complicated than you see on the outside. Like we've seen her so far, and I love that there's so much depth to her. And Jess Bush plays her like to a T. Like you can see where she's hurting and where she's where she's trying to run away from these relationships. And again, like you guys said, her relationship with Ortegas is phenomenal, and I 100% ship them, and I want that to be the ship on the ship that I want to see.
I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. Like, is anybody going to be surprised if that is something that we see? I don't think so.
No.
I mean, they didn't pull the trigger on OO and Detmer, so they got to pull it here, right?
True.
Like maybe a little bit.
I love their interplay on in the transporter room too. Like when they're doing the whole when they're trying to not tell Una her nickname.
Oh, we're fun.
Oh, the nickname.
Like I was just watching that. I was like, these two must have a blast on set. Like you can tell that they're all friends. Like it's great. Like it plays off in their characters. So I would take advice from both of them though. Yes.
Ooh, okay. Interesting. All right. Dig it. Hawk, how about you?
Yeah, this, like I said, it was great to get a kind of a personal glimpse into them outside of work. The advice she gave was not bad, and she genuinely cared about Spock and that, enough to give him a little head slap and that to, reorient him. Ortegas is great. It's, she has this weird balance in that where she's like, an awesome crew member, but also she seems like that kind of punchy comic relief in that throughout the series, and that was definitely not dimmed in this episode. Do I ship them? It could happen easily in that, but that little nod at the end that Chapel does in that, where she looks down when she mentions about the right guy and that. So yeah, they're definitely fueling the flames of her and Spock, I think.
She wants to say his name so bad, right? And then like thinks better of it. Like Ortegas is a bridge crew member. Like that would get around really fast.
Oh my god.
So I really like the like, yeah, no. And she just takes a sip of her drink. I thought that was a great, the way that was shot was actually really well done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, this whole episode and that, there's this thing about like, you've heard that line and that there's 1,000 stories in the naked city and that. And it's like, this was, this whole episode felt like an episode of that. And this was a great little, side note.
Yeah. For me, man, Ortegas is like, she's one of the best new characters, right? If not like the best new character.
The best.
The best. Are you guys getting Mariner vibes from her? Because she's giving me hardcore Mariner vibes.
Yes, the Lurpa scars.
Yeah, she's like, they'll hit you with a Lurpa. I know. I have scars, man. Like I feel like of everyone on Enterprise right now, she's seen the most shit, and she's probably been on a lot of ships, and I don't know.
She's got the cockiness. She
Yeah.
doesn't have the anti-authorityness.
Right, like no
ZZ
insubordination.
Yeah, she's not, I see the shades. I see that cockiness, and she knows a lot of shit, and she knows she's good. And I 100% appreciate that. I mean, cocky pilot is definitely an archetype that is a good one.
Yeah. Cocky pilot, but not thankfully not PTSD pilot.
She reminds me of Starbuck a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Little less fucked up so far.
Yeah,
but
early Starbuck.
Early Starbuck.
Yeah, early Starbuck. Yeah.
Pre Zach getting killed in the flight accident.
Yeah.
Starbuck. Or just yeah.
But yeah. It's like I said, cocky pilot is definitely an archetype.
I've seen a lot of comparisons for Ortegas to Tom Paris so far. She's a very
lesbian Tom Paris.
Yeah, lesbian Tom Paris. Yeah. I don't know. I see it. Definitely not a Mayweather. I mean,
I like her better than Tom Paris.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
I do like her better than Tom Paris.
Tom Paris
It's
without
true.
the nepotism.
Oh,
I'd
poor
like
Mayweather.
I'd like to see more of them, though. I feel like Chapel knows M'Benga really well, but from the vibe I got in this episode, I feel like Ortegas knows him pretty well, too. I know that she was like, oh, is that his wife or girlfriend? And Chapel's like, no, but she seems to maybe know him pretty well.
Chapel's newer to the crew.
She is, but she knows M'Benga.
Yeah, but I think they definitely.
Yeah, I love the fly fishing hat.
Yes.
Go ahead, I'll take it
Amazing.
off.
I swear to God, I was watching when he was actually fly fishing. One of his lures started moving, right?
Did it?
I'm pretty sure one of the lures was
Live
moving.
bait, baby. Live
Maybe it was
bait.
actually fly fishing. That'd be cool.
like actual fly,
Hmm.
like with a fly. I mean,
I don't know.
Do you think he was actually fly
Yeah, I think
fishing
he was
out-
actually
oh,
fly
yeah,
fishing.
Yeah. That'd be really- I mean, dude, they shoot in Toronto. There's woods there. There's lakes. You could
Not in Toronto. But around.
There's no.
There's
That's
a
what I
round on
mean.
the
Outside Toronto. I'm sorry. Outside Toronto. I shouldn't speak to Canada about Canada to the Canadians. It's a bad idea. I'm sorry. I've shunned your land. More fun in this episode with, I think, my favorite moment from it. Enterprise bingo. Una and Lon have some serious fun. Obviously, this comes from Una finding out she has a not nice nickname on this ship.
Where fun goes to die.
That's a terrible nickname.
Well, and I love how she says the wrong thing later in the episode. She's like, Fun's funeral or something. And Lon actually corrects her. He's like, no, where fun goes to die. I just love that. But who said it earlier? Chapel and Ortega's mentioning it on the transporter pad. Mm-hmm. And then Una's just like, fuck this, energize. and they ask Kai, is like, you know about this? Kai's like, no.
No, I've never heard that
mean.
nickname. That's weird.
Okay, this is a little off topic from Enterprise Bingo, but wasn't it really funny when they catch Ensign Christina and the Bolian ensign and what's it called? They oh crap! I'm totally blanking. Their punishment is to go scrape the transporter pads, and they have to go work with Kyle. And the Bolian's like, oh man, not Kyle. He's so mean. I love them. Kyle's
not mean.
Kyle can't be
He's
mean.
adorable.
Yeah. I love that. But we do get to finally find out what Enterprise Bingo is. It's been mentioned a couple of times so far. What do we think about Una and La'an going down this list, and then culminating them doing this awesome, beautiful scene where they sign the Scorch of the Hull, which we'll talk about more and what that is. But Karyn, what did you think about their interactions?
I thought it was so cute. I love that, you've got two very serious characters that are always kind of very serious and, somewhat traumatized. And, you get to see them kind of let loose a little bit in their own kind of way. Although I love the moment when they catch the two ensigns, trying to spacewalk and they're like, she's like, ooh, I'll be your backup. And they go, they're like, ooh, let's go catch somebody and be bad. And ooh, it's going to be fun to interrogate somebody. Cause they are
I like that they were
really,
competing for good cop, bad cop. Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, who can get the confession? I thought it was a lot of fun. Although then there was that one point where they were like, this is lame. Why are we doing this? I was like, yeah, I could see there be a point where you'd be like, I'm bored of this. Like, okay, no, we have to
I
finish
think it'd be more fun if there were more people on the ship. I don't know.
Yeah, there wasn't really like anybody to catch them doing the things, which I think is part of the, obviously the fun of doing it as an ensign is trying to sneak in that kind of stuff versus having a whole day to do it all at once. But I liked a little a little tough lady bonding, and they got to have their moment. I dug it.
Yeah. Eric?
Oh, it was probably the best part of this episode. Like, this is a great episode. Don't get me wrong, but this was my favorite part of the episode because watching them go around was hilarious. And their interplay is so good, especially since La'an still like respects Una as a superior officer, but she can have fun with her. So there are parts where she's like, maybe I shouldn't have gone that far. And you're like, oh damn, that's cute. They have that older sister, younger sibling,
100%.
right?
Yeah.
The only thing I was sad about is that the bingo wasn't long enough. There need to be more, like way more.
I agree.
There's only 11.
If
11
you
things,
want to
right?
see a longer bingo list, we have one on the Discord.
No,
right now
I've
that you
seen
can check out.
I've seen it.
It's a lot of fun.
But other than that, like I loved seeing them do everything. The quick draw sequence made my wife laugh. Like she was laughing for such a long time, and she had only passed by the basement when I was watching it. I was like, oh, that's great. And like you get these funny moments, but they also have that sweet moment at the end, like you guys said earlier, and seeing all those names on the Scorch and having those two officers there made it a little more special. And I think I loved it. I thought they were great.
Yeah, agreed. Hawk?
Same. This was probably like my favorite character interaction throughout this episode. And this was, speaking of, as you said, this was a great episode all around. But these two having fun, breaking the rules that they were the ones who made up, and kind of realizing that it kind of takes some of the fun out of that. It's just classic. The good cop, bad cop thing was fantastic. Ortega's just basically breaking a suspect. Una's like, would you like a cup of coffee?
Yes, please.
I don't know what else to say. I love how at the end they found a way of breaking their own rules and also kind of upping the ante of the game and that by taking a spacewalk without actually using
It's a ballsy ass move.
Really?
Ballsy ass move. I like
We're
that.
like 99% sure it's not going to fail. So yeah, best interaction. Yeah, big sister. They're basically like sisters in this show. I love that. And I love that we get to see a different side of Leon and that, because she's been super
so
dark,
serious,
super
right?
serious.
Especially last week.
Oh my god, yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Didn't happen. It's not the reason they were in space dock in the first place.
Don't tell me it didn't happen. I saw it happen.
I saw it.
Yeah, I watched it happen.
Joaquin slowly asks, the best part wasn't Pike's green wraparound tunic. Like, you even have to ask, man. Come on.
I love that.
Baby.
I was looking at it and it was like, oh, leather. Nice.
The minute it's up on eBay, I'm getting it. I'm just going to lounge in my house in it every single day. Like, it's not coming off ever. It's just going to stink. Oh, I love it. This is the best part of the episode for me. My favorite, absolute best part is I feel like this happens in any scene that happens like this in any movie or series, but like, the fact that one of them doesn't shoot because they don't want to offend the other. And I love the little just ouch that comes out of Una. And I have to imagine that's like a lot of people's first reaction, like when you put like the needle to skin getting a tattoo. It's like you don't expect, it doesn't actually hurt that much, but it's like that first initial like, ow. She's like, that really stings. I was like, oh, and I love how you heard when they're putting the phaser to the lowest setting, how it's going like just like little tiny sound effects.
The sound effects are so good.
So good. Jay Crabstep, hello y'all. He says, hello, welcome to the show. Yeah, I love this. The whole scorching the whole scene, that's special, like on its own, right? Like the fact that these ensigns and these lower deckers go and do this. But like now, when any future ensigns, and you have to think about like ensigns and lower deckers who come on after Pike and crew are all gone, and they see these names who, are icons in their own right. They have their names signed on the Scorch. I mean, that's super special.
Did you see any of the Easter eggs on there?
I didn't. No, I have to go back and look.
One is L. Ball for Lucille Ball.
Oh, that's gave me goosebumps.
Yeah.
Oh,
Love it.
That's awesome. Yeah, putting the shields around you and hoping that, like, you know, someone doesn't go like, hey, why are the shields on? And turns them off. Oof, risky. I like it.
Balls
I
of
like
steel.
it. And you know what? I hate to be this person, but I know that there's people out there that exist that are going to be like, well, how are they able to shoot phasers inside? You know, that sets off an alarm. Like, well, La'an's chief of security. Like, she could turn off the alarms. You know, there's going to be nitpickers.
Una's number one.
Yeah,
exactly. It's like the
Command override.
the two most important people on the ship besides the captain were doing Enterprise bingo. They weren't going to get into trouble. Everything they could do, they did do without repercussions. I wonder what Pike would have thought about it, though. Just saying. Just saying.
I think he enjoyed it in that.
Yeah.
He would definitely see it as like blowing off steam or a team building exercise and that. Like, you know, there is not a lot that can phase Pike to the
Mhm.
point
I
of
think he would
anger.
just look the other way, like he would know it's happening.
He
but,
would
like,
love
even
it.
join
He
in.
would
I think
just
he would
let him. He
too.
would like secretly enjoying it, but like pretending he doesn't notice.
I would actually love in the next episode a little throwaway line where like Una's on the bridge or like walking out of the turbo lift and Pike just does that look he does, like looks back and is like, scorch the hole, huh? Just like a little throwaway line. I would love it. Jay Crabsap writes, Pike looked great in that green tunic. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Don't get me started. Don't get me started. Enterprise bingo. I love it. It's just so good. Let's talk about Pike. Speaking of Pike and that beautiful green wrap, I want one. Tough negotiations. It was cool to get to see these two interact more because we know that Pike was April's first officer once upon a time. Getting to see the character of April back again is always great. Just good old Federation Starfleet negotiations. What did we think about how Pike handled this situation, and also having to deal with the fact that he's dealing with his not his first officer yet, his science officer, you know, not being his science officer, being T'Pring, and then later at the end where he kind of, like I mentioned earlier, has to kind of like speak to T'Pring about Spock's sacrifice on the Enterprise.
I thought it was a great Pike moment, and you know, kind of a little like window into his thought process. I love when they have these, you know, species conflicts where they're trying to figure out like the key to open up a negotiation, or like, why is it that what we're doing is not working, and like, what's the magic, you know, whatever it is. And you know, I loved the whole process of kind of getting to see the wheels turning in Pike's head and him trying to figure out like, what is going on with these guys and why, like, how can I make this work? And then figuring out a way to not only, you know, sort of give Spock a one up with or you know, kind of give him some kudos with T'Pring, but also to you know, to win some favor with the other species. So I liked it. I thought it was fun. It was smart. It was a good little moment. You get to see a little bit into Pike's little wheels turning.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that this is the storyline that brought all the other storylines together. Like this is the one where we learn what the episode is about, and Pike outright says it's about radical empathy, right? What else did he write? He said maybe that's what they value the most in others is the capacity to see things their way, and that's the storyline that Spock and T'Pring went through, and you know. I almost said Jess Bush. Oh my God. Chapel, her storyline, trying to see things from other people's perspectives with relationships. Man, what a phenomenal new alien species. I don't recall seeing them before.
Yeah, I don't
New
think so.
aliens, but you know, they reminded me of the Dupplers from Lower Decks a little bit.
Oh no.
without the dupling.
Yeah, a little bit. But I like that they were mirroring the people they were talking to. That's a phenomenal like negotiation tactic. I think that's great. Or I wonder if that's their whole species as a whole. I would love to see them more because I want to know more about them just after hearing Pike talk about them. But
I love seeing him like yell at the Tellarites, right?
But yeah, I love Pike. Whenever he does a speech about, you know, morals or anything like that, like I find him more endearing than any other captain that we've seen so far. I don't know.
150%.
Like,
150%.
I felt bad saying that, but
No.
that's how I feel. Like, every time he speaks about something that we should be listening to, it makes me want to listen to him. He's not one of those, oh, he's preachy, which you hear, which you can see, but he's not. I love it.
There's a reason, Eric, that when I saw him on Disco season 2, that he became, and listen, at the end of the day, even though he was in the opening credits, he was still a guest, right? Like, he was never going to be on the 3rd season. Like, for a guest character to then become my favorite captain, that takes a lot, because, man, I grew up with the best, man. I grew up with Janeway, Picard, and Cisco, and Kirk, but Kirk is Kirk.
Kirk was before our time.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I grew up with the best, and for Pike to take over that favorite spot for me, I mean, we, like you said, man, we see it week in and week out. He is so inspiring. Like, listen, like you said, every single time he makes a speech, I want to go put my damn uniform on and just like join up in Starfleet. Like, beat me up, man. No, I totally get what you're saying.
And like, this is what, if the world was watching this right now, oh my God, come on. Like, we would be in a better place.
Yeah.
Just listening to him. God.
Agreed. Pike for president, man. Anson Mount for president. Jesus. Yeah. Hawk.
Yeah. You know, Pike is kind of quickly becoming my favorite captain. You know, no offense, Jean-Luc, and that, but like,
dude, coming from you, that's
this is the captain we need for this time, and that, like, okay, he's got a Freaky Friday situation to deal with, and that, okay, and he's got a negotiation with a species that it seems to just basically change tactics with every alien race they encounter. He doesn't know why just yet. Okay. He just rolls with things. He uses it. He uses the opportunity. He's like, okay, your body switch weird, but I still need Spock. I'll help you get through it. And that he has his ability to roll with things. And that,
yeah.
And when he saw that T'Pring was kind of floundering in the negotiation, and that, he took the opportunity to, make a calculated guess about the motives of the Revankians. I think there's their name.
I think it was Revankians. Yeah.
The Revankians, and that he took a calculated risk in speaking to T'Pring. He mopped up 2 situations. He killed 2 birds with 1 stone, basically.
He did. He totally did.
And it's amazing to watch that. And he figured it out pretty quick that there are species who are basically believe in radical empathy, and that the whole time I was watching, I was thinking there's this old Woody Allen film called Zelig, and that it's about this person who walks into any room and becomes the people who are in that room, not just mentally, and that he also physically changes in that, because he's so uncomfortable in his own skin that he just changes to fit the situation he's in. That so it reminded me a lot of the Revankians, and that was so clever in that, the way they did it, because you're like, why are they screaming at the Tellarites like that? And you think they're just going to be mean. As soon as they meet Pike, they're affable and likable.
I would have cooked you a meal. It was like the awkward,
and the slap on the shoulder.
It was like the awkward Klingon laughs in Undiscovered Country.
And then as soon as they sit down with Vulcans, that query.
That made me so uncomfortable. It was just like, oh.
All around, it was the linchpin of the entire episode, and that basically radical empathy among, like, not just Pike but the entire crew. And I loved it.
Yeah,
what more can I say?
I loved it too. Someone mentioned it on Discord earlier today, and I wanted to say it and they beat me to it. I don't remember who it was. If you're in the chat, let me know. But they were like, this gives us a great insight, not only to Pike's negotiation skills and the kind of captain he is, but also to the kind of first officer he must have been to Bob April. Like, you have to imagine, if heart conditions were a thing in the 23rd century, that Bob April probably had them, because Pike just would just, it's not like going over April's head, but he's just kind of like that first officer who, acts first and asks for forgiveness later. And I love that. And April at this point, he is like, oh, Chris, what are you doing? Like, he has that bit of like, uh-oh. But he knows, I think he does know that, he's the guy and he's going to probably get it right. But I know we probably won't get him, but I'd love some flashbacks with April in command of the Enterprise and seeing a young Pike and their interactions. I know we already got the spin-off of Strange New Worlds. I'm not asking for another show.
Well, just like some sort of like little 5-minute
open
and that,
something.
Yeah,
but like, I would love to see like Pike hijinks. This episode's all about hijinks, right? Like Pike hijinks with Bob April, just like giving like a Picard
hijinks.
like giving a Picard face palm, you know, or just I love their interaction so far, and I love Pike's risk at the end. This has been Pike's MO since Discovery and since episode 1 of this show. He always takes the risk, and listen, it might not pay off at some point in this season or in season 2, but so far it's paid off and it's worked. And guess who gets to reap the benefits of that? Una and La'an, who get to see the damn sail ship fly right over them when they're signing the Scorch. Like, how cool is that? I love Pike. I love Pike even more because he's wearing that damn wrap. Who knew that you could upstage Jim Kirk with that green wrap, man? I'm just saying. I loved everything about Pike. And give me more Bob April. I love him. I said I was that person who shared our first episode on our 2-year anniversary, and was like, go listen to our show. What do we get right and get wrong? And I went back and listened, and I think I mentioned like I want to see Bob April, and we get Bob April. So I'm super happy. I love that stuff this week. Any other thoughts on Pike and April? I'll read Butch Lepue's comment real quick. He has so much wisdom that doesn't scream itself out as that. Yeah, agreed. Everybody wants short treks, guys.
Yeah, damn straight.
Yeah.
I want them to, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
Not during COVID.
Yeah, not during COVID, and I don't think after COVID, unfortunately, either. I think it was a way they were having production delays, and that's how they got new content out before season 2?
They got too many series going at once.
They have too many series. It unfortunately won't happen, but I'd love to see them. So, final thoughts. Permission to speak freely. Any other thoughts that we may have missed on this episode? Anything that you guys want to talk about before we move on to our crew member of the week? Karyn.
I just want to talk about how beautiful that sail ship was.
Yes.
I just so appreciated those moments at the end as it's gliding away that they gave us, like kind of those long views, and you know, you've got La'an and Una watching it, and they're, you know, watching it from the window, and I was like, oh, it's so pretty.
And Count Dooku's riding in the back there, just going.
I've been waiting for someone to say that for like an hour.
Oh, my turn. Yeah. So, this is probably the most fun I've had in a Star Trek episode since the 90s. Yeah,
Wow.
I'm gonna say that's probably right. Like this is a throwback to the old school fun hijinks, and I loved it. I had so much fun watching this episode, and I hope they do more of these silly episodes. Because you know the last couple of years have been very serious in Star Trek.
Yes.
So this lighthearted, just the crew having fun episode is awesome. I loved it. I want more. More.
Hawk.
Like I said earlier, you know, there's 1,000 stories in the, you know, Naked Starbase and that. So, and this episode just reflected that, you know, it was an episode about nothing, and, you know, also about something, and that it was so weird. This is episode 5 in a 10 episode run, and that, and we take a beat to have an episode that is just basically pure comedy. And I also realized in that Vulcans interacting with one another is like almost like one of those old British comedy of manners.
Oh,
basically.
totally is.
It's like an old school like computer program where you have to put in cards. You're like, wait, yeah, okay, boop. Oh God, yeah, no.
It's a little bit easier watching Vulcans interact with each other in Strange New Worlds and Discovery than it is in Enterprise, because they'd all just fucking hate each other in Enterprise at that point in time. So, but I get what you're saying, Hawk. Yeah.
It's fantastic episode.
I'm gonna give another shout out before we wrap up to Gia Sando for playing T'Pring. She has been fantastic in this episode and in episode 1. I think she has one more episode coming up. I think she signed on for 3. So, yeah, no, it's not a spoiler. It's on IMDb, man. But I do want more of her. I'm gonna give another shout out to the VFX team. Seeing Una and La'an walk on the hull of the Enterprise and just seeing details of the ship that we don't normally get to see from that perspective. It's like right out of the motion picture, right, when they're walking on the hull to V'ger. But you get to see like the running lights that shine on the NCC 1701. You get to see the Bussard collectors in the background slowly spinning. It's just like these beautiful VFX shots. And my last big shout out is to the entire writing and production team for a really smart season layout so far, right? Because last week we have this super deep serious episode, which did have like a couple of light moments, thankfully. But like to go from that to, okay, here's your feel good episode. No worries, no nothing. Laugh, have fun. It's really smart television. And I mean, you could say that for this whole season of Strange New Worlds so far. So I'm in love with this show. It's like one of the highlights of my week. So
yeah.
With that, let's move to our crew member of the week segment. And Hawk, we will start with you. Who is your crew member of the week? It's hard to choose this week, I feel.
It really is. Crew member of the week.
Wait, while you think, read, while you think real quick, I am gonna read Yummy on Pod's episode. Star Trek Picard would never dare to have an episode this fun.
They would never.
No. You know, they would kind of intimate comedy at times, you know, like, but never this fun, you know.
Yeah, they did have Seven and Rafi with the buddy cop police chase. That was about as close to fun as they got. Was that was not that close.
Yeah. Sorry, Hawk, go ahead.
I'm gonna give it to Ortegas this week, and just because she was fantastic this episode, and she quickly becoming one of those linchpins to the entire crew, and that never dour, always bubbly, and ready for a fight, but not not PTSD down in that.
I want to say Ortegas, but I'm having a hard time not saying Una or or La'an, and I don't know how I can pick one over the other.
You can make it a duo.
It's a slash.
Make it a duo.
Those
it's
two.
A duo
Those two. Yeah.
Karyn.
Damn it! I was gonna pick Una.
That's okay.
yeah. Una. I mean, Lon probably close second, but yeah. I loved getting some depth and some a little bit of fun to Una because she's pretty serious.
She's where fun goes to die. Remember? Over on Twitch, Galaxy Star Queen says my crewman of the week is Spock. I just loved what they did with him as T'Pring and the whole Katra swap thing. Yummy on Pod. Sam Kirk was ours. Oh, wait a moment. No, yeah, good point coming up in their mailbag later on. You do a comedy episode like this, right? And Sam Kirk's been a little bit of comedy relief, and no Sam Kirk in this episode. Come on.
His mustache is healing.
Are you f***ing kidding me?
Oh, I love it. Maggie Light says T'Pring as Spock. Chapel for me says Joe. Ensign Zier for letting me know Kyle is a meanie. I guess Ensign Zier was the Bolian, which is exciting. Shatterhand, my choice is Nurse Chapel. She's stepped in to help Spock with his relationship while at the same time harboring feelings for him that took a lot of inner strength. Agreed. I'm gonna Una and Lon. Easy choice this week. The combo. Not everybody can shoot you with a phaser and get away with it. I love it. The red shirt counter is very boring this week. I'm not even going to hit the sound effect. This was a comedy episode. No one was going to die. A Vulcan gets punched in the face, but that's as close as we get. So it is stuck at 7 red shirts from last week. So we'll move on to the Spock sideburn meter, which is worth talking about this week. Spock sideburns, Karyn.
Well, he didn't have the sideburns in the first scene.
No, but he does get them back.
Yeah.
I think they're a little wild this week. I don't know. No?
I tend to agree. Yeah. They were
a little wild.
Yeah.
T'Pring should have fixed that.
I don't know. T'Pring doesn't have time to groom people.
Yeah. She has to move all his glasses around.
See how impeccably groomed that woman is?
Yeah.
Come on now.
It's true. Crazy sideburns. All right, enough sideburn talk. Let's rate this episode out of 10 pieces of spearmint gum. Karyn, we'll start with you.
10.
10. Yeah.
I'm giving it 10.
Nice.
10. There's nothing wrong with this episode that I can think of. I can't think of anything to take away from it.
It's true. Yeah, even the end part and that where it's like, okay, how are they going to do the body switch and that, that turned into another comedic moment, which was just brilliant.
This will become Starfleet standard eventually. Eventually.
They're going to neck pinch us after this, aren't they? Yeah, I'm giving this a 10,
Yeah.
Go on.
Ghost of Illyria was my favorite of the season. That has been overtaken by this. This is now my favorite of the season. 10 out of 10. This is Star Trek. I think, like Eric said, this is Star Trek at its finest. like since the 90s. You can't count Lower Decks because that's like supposed to be comedy, all comedy all the time. So, but if we're talking about like live action fun Trek, yeah, this is a 10. Over on Twitch, Haven Studios gives it a 10. Yum Yum Pod a decent 7. Maggie Light a 9. 10 green wrap uniform tops from Galaxy Star Queen. Joaquin Slowly 9.5 out of 10. Swapped Katra shenanigans, extra point for fishing hats. And Joe gives this a 10.
So apparently he was using the wrong rod and lures for fly fishing. I just looked this up while we were talking about it. So there we go. He wasn't actually fly fishing.
That's a little bit disappointing.
Maybe they upgraded the rods. It's only been
It's a
how
23rd
many hundred
century.
years?
Yeah.
This is Martha's Pearls all over again.
Oh, jeez. We're doing okay on time, and I actually meant to do this at the top of the show, and I didn't get a chance. I'm actually going to put Eric on the spot real quick because you weren't here for our 2-year anniversary show last week, so I wanted to give you the opportunity. The whole crew gave their favorite moments so far from Strange New Pod, and I wanted to get your favorite Strange New Pod moment so far.
When me, Hawk, and Girafe took it over and had the fireplace going. Yeah, that was funny. When we were just like, yeah, fuck it. Let's give promotions out. We'll do whatever we want. Yeah, this is the episode. That was pretty funny.
The mutiny episode.
The mutiny episode.
Daddy's gone. It's time to play.
How appropriate the fireside chat ended up being with Pike having a fucking fireplace in his quarters too. That is always on. Have you noticed that thing doesn't turn off?
I would indeed. I wouldn't turn mine off either. Why not?
He's got like a cabin in Montana. Of course he's got a fireplace. Like, come on.
Oh man, good stuff. Let's get into the subspace to pull and mailbag.
Shipwide, Cadet Aurora.
Aye, sir.
We asked Trek Twitter what they thought of Spock Amok, and this is what they had to say. Karyn, you're our guest. Would you like to read the poll?
79% said, I love hijinks.
I do too.
3% said, stunning. 12% said, I don't like hijinks.
Oh,
And 6% said, death by Lurpa.
who are you?
Yeah, really? Who are these people?
Yeah.
Rude.
We know who these people are. We know who these people are. Let's get to the mailbag, and we'll just keep going in the same order. Eric, can you take Havens, please?
Yep. I was extremely worried going into today's episode that I would need to know a lot about Amok Time from TOS. I've never been more happy to be so wrong. This episode blew me out of the water. I can't recall an episode where I was so excited to watch it that I immediately wanted to rewatch it right after. I don't know how anyone who has access to the screeners have the self-control to refrain from even wanting to talk about an episode in advance. I know I would have been talking about it for weeks. We're very, zen. Like, we have to meditate daily so we don't talk about it.
Also, Paramount would take away our privileges, and we would never have them
That's
ever
true,
again.
as
So
well.
there's that too.
At least we have each other to talk about it.
My rating for this episode is 10 full Enterprise bingo cards. And, well, crewman of the week during my initial watch was gravitating towards the lovely Nurse Chapel, but I am actually going to go with T'Pring.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't
T'Pring.
consider
Yeah.
T'Pring.
She technically was part of the crew this week because she had to do the fucking negotiations. So, on the screener note, we do get to talk about them weeks in advance. We just talk about them with each other. We have a secret screeners chat that obviously y'all can't access, but don't worry, we talk about them.
I'm open to bribes. No, I'm not.
No.
Starting at 100 bars of gold press platinum. Please. Maybe it needs to be more than 100. I don't know. That could cost us a lot. Hawk, if you could take MCs, please.
Sure. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of body swap episodes, and for that reason, this episode left me a bit cold. The point of a body swap is to get a different perspective on a character, and Spock represents all of Starfleet's ideals, in quotations, is really nothing new either to the audience or even to T'Pring. I also don't have any deeper understanding of T'Pring except a vague idea of what her job is, and Spock made no effort to fit into her life. Despite the word hijinks being used multiple times, there really wasn't that many once Pike was told what was going on. Enterprise bingo was cute, although is it really bingo without a bingo card?
Yes.
But
No, it's not. It's not.
It is not. The card
It's a
makes it
checklist.
official. But all in all, I thought it was just okay.
I'll take Cassie's my very first mailbag. Yay, Cassie.
Nice.
I love that Strange New Worlds continues to expand on T'Pring's character. The fact that we now know her work focuses on rehabilitation through the application of Vulcan logic and that she is passionate about her job is incredible. Each episode that she appears in manages to give Spock's TOS relationship with her context, but also allows us to experience her as a fully three-dimensional character in her own right outside of who she is to her fiancé. We get to see cracks in the relationship because we are getting to know her in a way we never experienced in TOS. I keep saying the series can't get better, and it always does. God damn right. Truth. Karyn, take Yum Yum Pods, please.
A comedy episode and there was no Sam Kirk? Modern Star Trek's comedy has never really hit with us, and there was a worry going into this one that we're glad, but we're sorry. And there was a worry going into this one, but we're glad to report that they managed to pull it off. Some of the plots worked better than others for us, but overall, the episode slotted into place nicely and managed to get some well-earned chuckles because they were just being goofy instead of just doing gags. M'Benga putting on the silly fishing hat and becoming Lieutenant Colonel Henry Blank from MASH was
amazing.
a small joke, but a personal favorite, yes. And it was also great to see La'an loosen up a bit. The biggest laugh, however, was Spock's ever-changing sideburns. We're just waiting for them to grow human-sized and become a new member of the crew.
My God. I almost shaved off the bottom here just so that we had one mustache this episode.
Well, just 1 week, both of us stash bros
Oh
show
my
up
God,
without the
yes.
bottoms. Oh my God.
That'd be amazing.
We'll get killed by our wives. I don't know how your wife feels about your beard, but
Yeah.
I'm murdered. Keep going, Eric.
Yeah, Lexi wrote, a really delightful, fun episode, but Body Swap is a classic hoot. It's always nice to see when a more lighthearted episode, with no majorly consequential stakes can highlight and progress forward the character development, particularly of the supporting cast. I should have read this beforehand. Also, I feel personally attacked. Everyone is hot, everyone is horny, and everyone could and should hook up. Yeah. And I'm here for all of it.
Yeah, it's true. But Lexi, what about the Remans? Should they hook up too?
Wait,
That's the question.
We don't need them because everyone's so hot.
We have the Revengians.
We have the Revengians. That's true. Keep going, Hawk.
All right, Jesco wrote, this was so much fun. I love how the characters lead this week's episode, and the little jokes like M'Benga's hat really were so fun. I just wish Hammer got to partake in shore leave.
Yes.
I guess yeah, where was Hammer? I guess he was off skiing in the winter biome. Sorry. Maybe next week we'll get another crew dinner with them cooking all the fish M'Benga catches. My highlight was Spock as T'Pring and Chapel confronting the Vulcan. Those insults really hurt, and I could see Spock's heart breaking a little bit, but Chapel helped him really overcome the situation. 9 out of 10 fly fishing hooks.
Nice. I'm looking at Collins, and I don't know if it's just because I'm tired and it's late, but I really wanted to read this in Saw Gerrera voice, like hijinks, shenanigans. So there it is. That's my Saw Gerrera from Rogue One voice. Retreading old plot tropes. To be honest, sometimes we have to just go along and have fun. Who cares if we've seen body swaps before? I like this one a lot. It was silly. It was meaningful. Not taking oneself too seriously is something we all could use more of from time to time, especially me. Excuse me. My character of the week, the pair of La'an and Una. They gave me all sorts of smiles. I need this, and I loved this. 10 out of 10. Karyn.
Shatterhand wrote, I had concerns when this was touted as the funny episode, but it turned out I had no reason to worry. Spock Amok was a delightfully lighthearted episode with wonderful character moments and nostalgic callbacks. Amok time, battle music, the green wraparound tunic. Exclamation points.
Sorry.
Ethan Peck, Ethan Peck, Gia Sandu, and Jess Bush were the standouts this week, with each of them delivering incredible performances. A solid 9 out of 10 for me.
Cameron Frazier wrote, hi guys. I absolutely loved this episode. Thought the comedy mostly landed. The visuals were stunning, and the character interplay was true to the relationships already set up and the ones that are developing. 2 key takeaways. Chris Pike must have run things around April as the first officer. Just a hunch, playing Rootin' Tootin' Menace. And number 2, holy shit, he's wearing the wraparound green tunic, guys. It's Shatner's tunic, guys. It's the green tunic, and it looks so good, and I need one. That's all. Live long and prosper, Cameron. P.S. Did I mention the tunic? Because he's wearing the tunic.
I know all about the tunic. I have screenshots. It's okay. I'm right there with you, Cameron.
He looks at them in his private time.
He's in the bathroom with his phone, just going,
This is what you get for having your wife on the show. Oh my
Like,
God.
ooh, that's a nice tunic.
Karen, this is usually the part in the show where we thank you for coming on, and I do thank you for coming and joining us on the show tonight. And we ask people to plug their shit, but we don't do the Top Chef post show anymore, which is a little sad.
I don't have any shit to plug.
You don't have any shit to plug.
Not right. It's not right, guys. It's
Not right. So you know what I'll do?
Like
You know what? Instead of asking you to plug your shit, I'll ask you a.
oh, it's so dirty.
Not that kind of podcast, guys.
Just shut up.
I will ask you a final Star Trek question. What are you looking forward to most in the back half of Strange New Worlds? Oh my God.
I'm very tired.
The back half. Plug that shit with the black half of Strange New Worlds season 1.
Oh my God, you guys. Oh my God.
She listens to the podcast. It's not like she doesn't know the fucking hijinks of this show.
Indeed. Oh, what am I looking forward to? I want the Ren Fair episode.
Yes.
I want whatever those amazing costumes were. I want to see Ortegas in that like crazy night costume because
Katniss Una, give it
I'm
to me.
into that. Yeah, all of the above. Yeah, I really want to know what that episode is. Also, there's a dog.
There is the dog.
There's
and
like a dog in a costume too, which I really want it to have like a horn, like the dog from TOS.
Maybe it changes
that
shapes.
Would be amazing.
Like in Lower Decks. Oh my God.
Oh, it's the dog.
Oh, the dog. Oh,
The
Tendy's dog.
Oh my God.
I wish.
But yeah, I want to know what that is, and I don't know. I'm loving this. I'm gonna be sad when the season's done. So I'm looking forward to stretching it out and
I'm trying
enjoying
really
it.
hard to look at this time period we're in right now as half glass full because we are just 5 more episodes and that's it, and that's sad. Karen, lovely wife, dearest, thank you for coming on the show and filling in for Girafe. If you want to catch Girafe, they might still be going over at Disco Pod, but that's gonna do it for Strange New Pod. We will see you next week for episode 106. So for Hawk, for Eric, for Karen, for myself, Julian, I say live long and prosper, Majram, and good night.
Thanks for beaming into our podcast today. If you want to keep the hailing frequencies open, you can subscribe on Apple and Google Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify. Like what you hear? Put in a good word with Starfleet and leave us a 5-star review.